You know that feeling when you meet someone and, on the surface, everything seems fine. They're smiling, agreeing, saying all the right things, but something just feels off? You can't explain it logically. There's no clear reason. But your brain is quietly whispering, I don't trust this. And then later, maybe days, maybe weeks, something happens, and suddenly it clicks. Oh, that's what it was. Here's the interesting part. Most people think spotting fake people requires experience, intelligence, or some kind of social expertise. Like you need to be highly observant or good at reading people. But psychologically, your brain is already doing it. It's picking up patterns, micro-behaviors, small inconsistencies. The problem is, we often ignore those signals. So today, I want to walk you through something deeper. Not just what fake people do, but why they do it, and why your brain notices it before you consciously do. Because once you understand these behaviors, you stop second-guessing yourself, and start trusting your perception. Let me show you what's really going on. Imagine this. You're talking to someone, and they agree with everything you say. Your opinions, your preferences, your thoughts, everything. At first, it feels nice, comfortable, even. But then, it starts to feel strange. Because real people don't agree with you all the time. Psychologically, this is called social mirroring taken too far. Normally, humans mirror each other to build connection. But fake people use it strategically. They don't agree because they genuinely see things the same way. They agree because they're trying to manage your perception of them. It's less about connection, and more about control. And your brain notices this lack of friction. Because real connection has texture. It has differences. It has moments of disagreement. When everything feels too smooth, it stops feeling real. Now here's another one. Have you ever met someone who is incredibly nice, but only when people are watching? They're kind in public, supportive in groups, almost perfect. But when it's just you and them, something changes. The warmth fades. The energy shifts. This is what psychologists often describe as impression management. It's not that they don't know how to be kind. It's that their kindness is conditional. It's a performance. And here's the key detail your brain picks up on: consistency. Authentic people are consistent across environments. Fake people adjust depending on the audience. It's like watching someone switch characters between scenes. And even if you can't explain it, you feel it. Now let's go deeper. Think about someone who talks a lot about themselves, but somehow reveals very little. At first, it seems like they're open. They're sharing stories, talking about their life, their experiences. But if you really pay attention, it's all surface level. No vulnerability. No real depth. This is a psychological defense mechanism. Because being real requires risk. It requires exposure. And fake people often avoid that by staying in safe, controlled narratives. They give you information, but not truth. It's like reading a book that has pages, but no story. And your brain notices that absence. Because humans are wired to look for emotional authenticity, not just words. Now here's something subtle, but powerful. Fake people often struggle with genuine happiness for others. They might congratulate you, smile, say the right things. But there's a delay. A slight hesitation. A forced tone. Why? Because their identity is often comparison-based. Instead of thinking, that's great for you, their brain is quietly calculating, what does this mean about me? Psychologically, this is tied to insecurity and self-worth. And it creates a disconnect between what they say and what they feel. And your brain is incredibly sensitive to emotional mismatch. It's like hearing music where the sound and rhythm don't quite align. You may not know music theory, but you know something is off. Now let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how some people are overly charming, but it feels almost rehearsed? Like they always know what to say. Always smooth. Always polished. At first, it's impressive. But over time, it starts to feel predictable. That's because it is. Fake people often rely on social scripts, pre-learned responses that create a desired impression. But real human interaction isn't scripted. It's messy, unpredictable. slightly awkward at times. So when someone feels too perfect, too controlled, your brain starts questioning the authenticity. Because real connection isn't about perfection. It's about presence. Now here's one of the most revealing behaviors. Inconsistency between words and actions. Someone says they care, but disappears when you need them. They promise, but don't follow through. They present one version of themselves, but behave differently over time. Psychologically, this creates something called cognitive dissonance. Your brain struggles to reconcile the mismatch. And when that happens, trust starts to break. Not suddenly, but slowly. Because trust isn't built on words. It's built on patterns. And fake people often struggle to maintain consistent patterns, because their behavior is driven by short-term impression, not long-term integrity. Now here's something important. Fake people are not always bad people. That's a mistake many people make. Sometimes, fakeness is not manipulation. It's protection. It's someone who learned that being real wasn't safe. That being themselves led to rejection, criticism, or pain. So they adapted. They created a version of themselves that would be accepted. And over time, they got stuck in it. So when you recognize these behaviors, it's not about judgment. It's about awareness. Because understanding this changes how you respond. Instead of asking, "Why are they like this?" you start asking, "Is this someone I can trust emotionally?" And that's a very different question. Now here's where it becomes personal. Because this isn't just about other people. If you're honest, there have probably been moments where you've done this too. Where you said something you didn't fully mean. Where you adjusted yourself to fit in. Where you avoided being real because it felt risky. And that doesn't make you fake. It makes you human. The difference is awareness. Because once you become aware of these patterns, you start making different choices. You start valuing authenticity over approval, depth over impression, connection over performance. And here's the most important shift. You stop chasing people who feel off, and start appreciating the ones who feel real. The ones who don't always say the perfect thing. The ones who disagree sometimes. The ones who show up consistently, even when it's not convenient. Because real people are not always easy. But they are reliable. And in a world full of performances, that's rare. So the next time you feel that subtle discomfort around someone, don't ignore it. That's not overthinking. That's your brain recognizing a pattern. And maybe, just maybe, it's trying to protect you. And if this made you reflect on someone, or even on yourself, take a second and think about it. Because sometimes, the smallest realizations change the way you see people completely. And once you see it, you can't unsee it.